Level 1. The family calculator. Your mother kept a small gray calculator in the kitchen drawer. Not for school. Not for work. For survival. It sat beside rubber bands, old batteries, sauce packets, and receipts she swore she needed to keep. Every Friday night, she would take it out, press the buttons too hard, and write numbers on the back of an envelope. Rent. Car insurance. Groceries. Electric bill. Minimum payment. Then she would stop. Not because the math was done, because the money was. That was your first lesson about money. Not investing, not ownership, not wealth, just subtraction. You learned money as something that left, something that disappeared the second it arrived. Nobody in your house ever said, "We're poor." They said, "Don't open the fridge too much." They said, "Wait until payday." They said, "Ask me next week." They said, "We already have food at home," even when the food at home was rice, eggs, and one sad bottle of ketchup. You were not abused. You were loved. That almost made it harder, because the people who loved you were doing their best inside a life that kept charging them late fees. Your father worked double shifts and still looked nervous when the car made a new sound. Your mother could stretch $40 across a week in a way that felt like magic until you got older and realized magic was just exhaustion with better timing. So you learned the family rules. Don't need too much. Don't dream out loud. Don't embarrass people by wanting what they can't give you. And if money comes in, use it before life notices. That was the ceiling. Nobody pointed at it. Nobody had to. You just grew up underneath it. Level 2. The first crack. You're 21, sitting in your car outside an apartment complex at 11:18 p.m. Your shift ended 40 minutes ago, but you haven't gone inside yet because the gas light is on and you're trying to decide whether tomorrow's drive to work is possible on fumes and optimism. Your bank balance is $26.41. Your rent is due in 4 days. Your phone is cracked in the corner, and you keep pressing the screen harder, as if pressure can change numbers. Then your coworker, Jamal, knocks on the window. He's holding a takeout bag and wearing the calm face of a man whose rent is not hunting him. "You good?" he asks. You say, "Yeah." He doesn't believe you, but he doesn't push. Instead, he tells you he bought a small lawn care route from his uncle. 12 houses, 2 apartment complexes, Saturday mornings. Nothing glamorous. Clears around $2,300 a month, he says. You almost laugh, because $2,300 a month sounds like a rich person's mistake. He shows you the spreadsheet on his phone. Names, addresses, prices, gas, equipment. Profit. For the first time, money looks different. Not like a paycheck. Not like luck. Like a machine. Small, ugly, simple, but a machine. That night, you go inside and don't sleep. You search businesses for sale. Routes. Cleaning contracts. Vending machines. Mobile detailing. Anything boring enough that rich kids would ignore it and practical enough that regular people still needed it. At 2:06 a.m., one thought lands in your head and refuses to leave. Somebody owns the boring stuff. Why not you? Level 3, the quiet attempt. You don't announce anything. Announcing is dangerous in a family where ambition gets treated like a fever. People mean well, but they have a way of cooling you down before you even start. So you stay quiet. You keep your job. You eat cheap lunches. You stop buying little things that used to make being broke feel less depressing. Then you buy your first vending route, 9 machines, mostly in auto repair shops and one medical office where the receptionist treats you like you personally invented stale chips. Price, $13,500. You don't have it. So you use savings, a credit union loan, and $2,000 from a cousin who says, "I hope this isn't one of those internet things." The first month is humiliating. A machine jams. Another location cancels. One mechanic tells you the old owner gave him free sodas, which is clearly a lie, but you are too new to argue properly. Your brother finds out and laughs. "You bought snack machines?" You say, "Yeah." He says, "That's random." And because he is your brother, the word hurts more than it should. For a few days, you think he might be right. Then the first month ends. After loan payment, gas, stock, and repairs, you clear $617. You stare at the number in your banking app while sitting on the edge of your bed. $617. It is not impressive to anyone else. It is not even enough to quit anything. But it is the first money you ever made from something you owned. That changes you, quietly. Level 4. The middle nobody claps for. 2 years in, you are tired in a way sleep does not fix. The vending route now clears $3,100 a month, but your life looks worse from the outside. You still work your job. You still drive the same car. Your weekends are gone. Your friends stop inviting you places because you always say, I can't this time. And eventually people stop giving you chances to disappoint them. Your mother asks if you're okay. Your father says, just don't get yourself in debt. Your aunt says she heard about a man who lost everything trying to be his own boss. Nobody is trying to kill your dream. That is the annoying part. They are trying to protect you with the only language they know, fear. Then one winter night, a machine gets vandalized behind a tire shop. You lose $1,400 in damage in stock. You sit in your car at 1:22 a.m. with glass on your jacket and your hands smelling like metal and soda syrup. For 10 minutes, quitting seems intelligent. Not emotional. Intelligent. The voice in your head says, nobody in this family has done this for a reason. And for 1 second, that sounds like data. Then you get out of the car. You sweep the glass. You call a repair guy. You restock what survived. Not because you feel brave. Because going back to only having a paycheck now feels worse than being tired. The ceiling has a crack in it. And once you see light through a crack, darkness becomes harder to accept. Level 5. The first real sign. The first real sign is not $1 million. It is $5,482. That is the first month your business profit is bigger than your paycheck. It happens on a Tuesday. Nothing special. Rain outside. Cold leftovers in the fridge. A load of laundry you forgot in the washer. You run the numbers 3 times because you don't trust good news when it comes too quietly. Paycheck, $4,960. Business profit, $5,482. You sit at the kitchen table and just look at it. You want to call your mother. You don't. Because explaining the number means explaining the last 2 years, and you don't have the energy to translate your life into a language everyone can understand. So you close the laptop. You eat the cold leftovers. You go to bed. But something has changed. Before, you hoped the ceiling could break. Now you know it can. Level 6. The crossing. You are 34 when the number becomes real. By then, vending machines became a laundromat. The laundromat became 2. 2 became a small cleaning company. The cleaning company got you into office buildings. Office buildings taught you about parking lots. Parking lots taught you that some of the best businesses are just inconvenience with a payment machine attached. You are not famous. You are not flashy. You still dress like someone who checks prices before adding fries. But your assets have been growing quietly in the background while everyone else thought you were just working too much. The $1 million number arrives on a Wednesday afternoon. You are in a hardware store buying a toilet part for one of the laundromats. Your accountant texts the updated balance sheet. Assets, debt, cash, equity, $1,027,000. You stand in aisle 14, holding a toilet fill valve, reading the number again and again. You thought the moment would feel bigger. It doesn't. A man behind you says, "You done looking at those?" You move aside. That is how you become the first millionaire in your family's history. Not on a yacht, not in a suit, not with music playing. In a hardware store, holding toilet parts, trying to act normal while your bloodline quietly crosses a line it has never crossed before. Level 7, the gap. That Thanksgiving, you go home. Same small kitchen, same uneven table, same TV too loud in the living room, same drawer where the calculator still lives, although nobody uses it as much anymore. You pay for groceries before your mother can argue. She says, "You didn't have to." You say, "I wanted to." There is a small silence after that. Not long, just long enough for everyone to feel the shift. You are still you, but you are not in the same place anymore. That is the part nobody warns you about. Making it does not only change your bank account, it changes where people stand around you. Your brother jokes that you're rich now. Your cousin asks what you think about his business idea. Your mother still tells you to take leftovers, but now she says it like she knows you don't need them and wants you to take them anyway. You want to tell them the full number. You also don't. Because the number would explain too much and not enough. It would sound like bragging, or separation, or proof that you escaped while they stayed. So you say, "I'm doing okay." Your mother looks at you for a long second. Then she says, "I know." Later, while everyone is eating, your nephew asks why you work so much. Before you answer, your mother says, "Because he's building something." The room keeps moving. Forks scrape plates. Someone laughs in the living room. Your nephew reaches for another roll. But you sit there for a second, holding that sentence, because she finally said it. Not he's busy. Not he's trying. Building. And that is the whole story. Your grandmother had emergency cash hidden in the house. Your mother had a calculator in the drawer. You have businesses, accounts, options, and a number nobody in your family had ever seen with their own name attached to it. You did not just become a millionaire. You changed the starting line. One day, the kids in your family will grow up with a different kind of normal. They will think ownership is possible. They will think investing is normal. They will think money is something you can build, not just something you survive until it runs out. They may never understand how heavy that first million felt. Good. That means it worked. You take the leftovers when your mother hands them to you. You drive home in the dark. At a red light, your phone buzzes. Updated net worth, $1.08 million. You look at it once. Then you put the phone face down. For the first time, the ceiling is not above you. It is beneath your feet.